Welcome, welcome, everyone. This is C.Pop with the C.Pop Insider Magazine, where we celebrate creativity, innovation, and fashion. Today's subject, we're going to be touching on financial literacy. And I have someone very special who's going to be helping me today. You guys might have seen her as America's Next Top Model finalist on your runway or even presenting trophies at the Grammys. Everyone help me welcome Miss Sharaun. How you doing, lovely?
Hey, C.Pop, I'm doing good. I'm
Good.
doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in, girl. You look so good. The blue's everything.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And just a little bit about you because you are just awesome, from top to bottom. You went from you're all over, right? You had your model, public speaker, motivational speaker, host, and you also have your model tribe.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us a little about the model tribe, girl.
Yeah, definitely. So it's so funny that you say you're all over because I feel like everything, everywhere, all at once, yet perfectly in alignment where we're supposed to be, right?
Exactly.
And I know a lot of my other multifaceted individuals out there, multifaceted artists and talent can relate to that. A lot of times it seems all over the place and like a lot going on, yet they're also aligned. So I got my start. So modeling is like what I'm most known for. I've had the honor of being signed with some of the biggest agencies in the world, as you said. America's Next Top Model, got my start on there. From there, I was known as the girl with confidence, coming on saying, I am America's Next Top Model.
That's right.
So I went on to use that to, it's always been important to me to use my platform as a model for so much more and things bigger than myself. When it came to modeling, I was always attracted to that. The Leah Kabitis and the Heidi Klums and the Naomi Campbells and Tyras, those things that have been able to take this thing called modeling and build an empire around it. And so that's where everything else falls into play. My motivational speaking, that like just stems from the core of who I am. And that touches another part of me that's completely different. Me as a wellness leader, in order to navigate through this industry, wellness needed to be an essential part of that journey. So I went
top three.
Definitely top three.
Definitely.
If you don't got your self-care together, if your wellness game is not together, how are you thriving in this day and age, literally?
Yes.
And then also my work with Model Tribe is my mentorship community. It's a sisterhood that I've built, that I've cultivated where I teach women and men and girls of all ages how to become the model versions of themselves and supermodels in every area of their life, whatever that looks like. And so we do that through community, do a number of events, not only through the creative expression that is modeling. A lot of times we think about modeling and modeling classes. That's something we do when we want to do it professionally, but it's also such a great way to come into ourselves. So yeah, I use that to do a number of wellness events, and through our community, mentorship intergenerationally naturally flows and happens. So yeah.
Awesome, girl. One thing I definitely noticed as I was doing my digging, you really do highlight mentorship. That is like a core of like your brand, So where would you say that like comes from? Because like how you said you were the girl who was highlighted for confidence. And I've definitely seen, some clips where you're just like, this is what it is. Like, I'm Sharaun. You guys are going to see me globally. I am the model. This one fall is just something so short. You will see me again. Like, and then you put that back into your community. And I love that. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. You have to have confidence. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago, like in order to beat the odds and the statistics and a lot of the things that we face, growing up, lack of mentorship being one of those things. You have to have that confidence and that belief in yourself. So most definitely. Awesome. Where did that come from? The mentorship aspect of it? It came from me as a young girl, as a young woman, like seeking mentorship.
Yes.
As you know, when we start out in the industry, oftentimes we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Man.
We just be shooting darts and trying stuff.
Right.
Right?
We were the creators of shooting your shot, okay? Like, before it became a term.
That part. And that's why I started with America's Next Top Model. Was kind of like that first thing on my journey because I wanted a mentor. So I was so excited to have Tyra as my mentor. Yet when I made it there, I realized it was a reality TV show.
Man.
Yeah. And so
Go
They
ahead, go
say
ahead.
you become those things that you needed when you were younger.
Right.
And so that mentorship, I always recognize the value and importance of that. And even though I didn't get it directly through her in the way that I thought and hoped, I always sought out mentors throughout my career.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason I brought you in today, because I feel like today's subject is going to be on financial literacy, and like how we just touched on, like it's especially when you are a creative, a model, an entrepreneur, anything of the sort, like you almost learn from falling. That's the number one
Mhm.
teacher, right? Is just,
Mhm.
failure. Let's say, failure is not just, it is learned lessons, right? So today,
Mhm.
I would love to shed light on just financial literacy, especially in our communities as creatives, as entrepreneurs, as Black and Brown
Mhm.
women, and however we can just give mentorship to those who like using our platform, touching on that. So I'm
100%.
happy to have you today, girl, because
Yay.
man, and then also. And then also, we had like the highlight of the year, like being a trophy presenter for the Grammys. Like,
Yes.
congratulations on that again.
Thank you. The official trophy presenter for the Grammys. Shout out to the Recording Academy for having me. Yeah, a great start to the new year, right?
A great start to the new year. Great start
I
to the
like
new year.
2025.
Right.
2025 feels nice, feels abundant. So yeah, man, that was so fun, so amazing, so many iconic moments that
Yes.
I will remember forever, forever. So I'm truly grateful for that
I love
opportunity and
that.
the ones to come. And hopefully you'll be seeing me up there many, many, many more years to come here.
Oh, I have a feeling that the world's not done seeing you at all. This is
Oh, of course.
this is
Oh,
just a
it
smidget,
is.
okay, of Sharaun, guys. So
I
listen,
received that.
right, right, right. You are here to drop some gems. I love it. I love it. Okay, so like on your journey, like being a model, becoming who you are, stepping into your passion and your purpose. What was a turning point for you? Like when it came to financial literacy, so like
Yeah.
key moments, like where it brought you awareness. Like let's bring you back to like when you first started, like when you were seeking that mentorship, hopefully through America's Next Top Model or whoever, whatever journey you were
Mhm.
on in the beginning. And just what was that turning point of just like, okay, maybe I need to really, you know, look at my books, look at these contracts, see if
100.
I'm really getting the short end of the stick or not. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
did you have a turning point where it was just like, I know you said wellness is everything. And I feel like that, looking out for yourself in that way also counts.
Yeah.
So did you have a turning point where you're like, I might need to, really like dive into how I'm receiving this?
Yeah, 100%. I've had many turning points. And I think that's the beauty of life. We have those moments over and over and over again. And it's our acceptance of that and our willingness to be open to those turning points and the different things that they bring along our journey. But my first one, I would say probably, shoot, fresh out the house. when you go
Man,
when you go from mama house, right? Where
man.
like your food is made every day.
Let's talk
Like
about it. Let's talk about it.
I had started already modeling there, in Chicago. I got my start here in Chicago with the lead model management here. Yet, yeah, when I first left and I moved out to LA, it was a different ball game because again, I was going to school here. I was able to use my modeling money to pay my way through school because I didn't have to worry about housing or anything like that. Yeah, like I said, when I moved out to California with all
Man,
of $1,500 in my bank account,
man.
and 700 of that had to go to the rent.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, okay. And then mama drove me down there and paid for the gas to get there. And then she left and went back home.
Shout out to
I was like,
mom. Shout out to
right?
mom. She probably cried the whole way home, huh? Dropped you off like, oh, she is about to find out.
I know, yeah, she was bawling. And it's funny because like I had to be even more confident for her. Me and my mom grew up together. She had me when she was just 19 years old. So yeah, we're very close. And yeah, she was like, are you sure you wanted this? I was the first one to leave home in that way. And
Man.
yeah, she was she was bawling, she was scared, but I was even that much more confident. And shoot, you look when they say the Lulu is the Salulu.
Man, you have to have a little bit in there. a little bit of the Lulu in you to just,
Because who told me that $1,500 was enough to move to LA with?
man. And then fast forward to today, $1,500 won't even cover the rent in LA. So let's talk
Girl,
about it.
not even.
As a young female getting away from home, I could hear.
Not even. And so that was that moment I was like, oh shoot. And I had went back into the agencies who had shown interest in wanting to sign me. And like I quickly realized that the jobs just ain't about to be like just coming left and right just because you signed. Like
right.
I gotta go out there and figure things out, right? So yeah, I got a second job really quickly.
Right. And you know what? Shout out to you for that, because I feel like, some people can be too prideful to be like, you know what, I might need to, I might need to bust a couple tables. I might need to get this part-time here in this store. I might need to, I was reading 50 Cent's book, and he was just like, I seen a man on the corner selling peanuts, and and he's like, never be be humble enough where you're like, I might need to sell some peanuts,
that part.
Right.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for that, because it's just like that's an investment in yourself. Right.
Thank you. 100%.
Rent still got to get paid amongst these dreams,
Yeah. And like, we always think that like, it's not a failure or backwards or backup plan or anything to have something to like support yourself, at least in the early stages of your career. Don't get me wrong. I put a deadline to it. Like, look, I'm not about to be doing this. This is going to be for a good 6, 8, 9 months or something. Then look, self, spirit, all the things we need to figure it out. But yeah, no, fresh off a top model, girl. I was a stylist, I guess, but I was very strategic, and this goes into financial literacy and everything as well. I was very strategic about it. I wanted to make sure that whatever I did was still aligned with kind of the realm of who I was. Yes. I never steered out of alignment with that. And then I had a plan and a purpose for whatever. I just didn't like, okay, I'm going to do something random that's like out of purpose or misalignment. Right. It was like, I was actually like, I'm going to be a stylist at Guess, not at any Guess, but at the Guess at the Beverly Center, right? Ooh. In the middle of Beverly Hills. And then Paul Marciano, he walks in there all the time. He's the founder and CEO of Guess. And I was like, I'm going to get discovered.
That's right.
Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, all of the celebrities come here. I'm going to make great connections. And it's just going to be a meantime in between thing. And that's literally what it was. And it happened as well, kind of how I envisioned it. Not exactly envisioned it, because I thought he was going to give me a campaign. I thought I was going to have a campaign. But we did do some side work together. I did get to meet him. I did make some amazing connections. It was very humbling because people was coming in, like taking pictures and stuff with me. Come on now. That was so humbling. Like, what are you doing here? I'm working.
Man. Yeah. And they were like, no, come here, beautiful. Picture.
Right. No, because they were recognizing me from Top Model and stuff. So yeah, no, very humbling. But I had to do what I had to do, and it served its purpose. And yeah.
And absolutely. And it like became essential to your career growth. For sure.
Exactly. Sure. And I learned, even now, having my own retail space at the Water Tower place on Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago. That time, that pit stop in my journey taught me so much about retail. It taught me so much about hospitality and connecting with people. And like, it taught me so much that I now apply to my own business to this day. And when it comes to financial literacy, even when we got to get jobs and do things in the meantime, between time, make sure it's aligned with your purpose. Make sure it's a skill that you're actually going to like use and that you need, Don't. And I think that's the difference when it's like based off of just survival, we just be taking whatever comes. I never have just taken whatever comes. I'm very selective about the things that I do. And when I do things again, they're still in purpose and in alignment.
Right. And then it served you today, as you said, within your resale space. That's awesome. Yeah. Things always come full circle. They always come full circle. That's right. That's right. That's right. Good.
Yeah.
Right. For sure. Let's get into the challenges of the industry. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Mhm.
What are some common financial challenges models and creatives face in the industry? In the fashion industry, I'm sorry. So some
Yeah, so I
challenges.
mean, one of the main, financially speaking, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so one of the main things, one, it's not like any other regular job where, and not saying regular as a downplay or anything like that. I'm just saying comparing it to like what
9
we're
to
used
5.
to. You get a
Right.
9 to 5, you get a certain paycheck every 2 weeks, and that ain't happening with modeling.
Nope.
I might have a busy month and boom, 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 and it's all this stuff happening, and then the next month it might just be a handful of jobs, a couple, if any. It
Right.
fluctuates. It's up and down, at least I'm grateful to have gotten to a point where things are more consistent and stuff. But like, for especially starting out, like, it is up and down. And even when you're at the height of your career, you still never know. Like, it's not you can't bank on like, okay, it's going to be this amount this month and this, boom, boom. And not only that, agencies in a lot of these contracts, they have up to 90 days to pay you.
Mm.
And so you do a job, I do a job tomorrow, we February, March, April, May. I might not see the check until May.
Ooh. That could.
Especially if
Ooh.
I'm not on top of my stuff and
Right.
following up with them. That's the other part. You don't have necessarily someone like you're your own accountant.
Man.
Yes, the agency has an accountant, but you got to be the accountant for the accountant of the agency. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Because who's gonna look out for you better than you?
Exactly, exactly. And it's also, we glamorize being signed, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm signed to I'm signed with the Lee Model Management, CSD, Storytelling, Select Chicago here. Like the
Right.
best agencies, great. I love my agents. Mwah. Yet, you're not necessarily in control of what comes through.
Right.
It's easy to be able to make something happen on your own. I'm gonna get this opportunity. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hustle. But many of us are used to that. Yet, what happens when now it's in the hands of somebody else, seemingly,
Right.
and you can't control whether you go on that casting. You can be beautiful, you can have kilted and did the dang thing, but if you're not right for the position, or if it's like, then that's just it. It's not something that you can always like control early on, or yeah.
A lot of people see like the glamour, but not the financial pitfalls.
100%. And that's why you see so many actors and actresses and people in the entertainment industry. Shout out to Taraji P. Henson for speaking up about
Yes.
that, because there are a lot of disparities even within the community, and within the industry,
Right.
and a number of different ways that people don't speak about. You see the glitz and the glamour, and it's great, and it is. Yet, like, you don't see the number of times where sometimes there's jobs or opportunities that you have to fly yourself to or put yourself up for and then reimburse yourself in different things. Like, yeah. Or like Taraji said, she might have a huge job, and book a big movie, but then sometimes that can even typecast you, or you don't know when the next, role is coming. So you get these large lump sums. And that's why it's so important to be on top of your finances, to save.
Right.
I learned very early on that I just can't be out here tricking off like randomly. Like, I have to save my money. And I've always been big on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never know when, a slow time or slow day may come.
So it quickly gave you some realization, like to almost change your approach to like the business side of things.
100%. I had to early on. This is what I tell my Model Tribe girls and mentees, those that I work with. You are the CEO of this business called you. Never give that power to somebody else or put it in the hands of someone else. It's important for us, first and foremost, no matter what it is, as artists and creators, we have the tendency to kind of like, the world makes us feel like it's our service to the world, and we're just here to give it away, and people can extract from us and take. And no, it's a sacred calling.
That's
It's a
right.
sacred service, and it also is deserving of equal exchange. And we have to know that, and also treat our career, our talents, our gifts as a business. You are a business. You
Yes.
are the CEO of this business. And if you don't have a team yet, that's okay. But make
Right.
sure, be mindful of the team and the people that you do need in place. Whether you have to treat it just like a department. I have multiple departments in my business, even if
Right.
for many years I wore many of those hats.
Yes. Sometimes
You
we
know,
have to first, and then it's
you
like,
have to
okay, where's this
first.
team? Now I can put people in
Exactly.
position, right?
Exactly. And one thing that I can say, and again, which is why I'm so big on mentorship and what I do with Model Tribe, is that like I always sought out mentors. I
Right.
always sought out mentors.
Right.
Even if it wasn't a physical one that I could talk to and that I would be always watching lectures. I would be learning about things. Even being a SAG-AFTRA member, there's a lot of SAG-AFTRA talent out there as well. Like they have so many resources for artists for that we can tap into. I can remember early in my career and at every stage, like going to their financial literacy classes,
Right.
tapping into that, learning about taxes as a creative. Um,
I love
yeah,
that. Right.
yeah.
Learning
So
about taxes
even
as a creative. Say that louder for those in the back.
yes, look, stay on top of them taxes, child. Even though we might not have an IRS soon, we don't know, but a whole nother story.
Man, what are some tips you would recommend for models and
Um, for
freelancers
for tips for
um,
just like
to manage income, save, invest, anything that you would recommend?
yeah, okay. So there's two sides of it. Again, because everything I do is emerge like fashion and wellness, or like the masculine and feminine energy, and both
Right.
coming together. So, on one side of it, the practical side of it, right? Definitely, like I said, know that this is a business, treat it like it's a business, whether you're freelance, whether you're signed, no matter what. I hold regular meetings with my agents. I make it clear on like the direction that I'm going, on what the things that I want to do. I'm actively, I don't just, well, that's one of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in my career, is once I got signed, just sitting back and losing the giving that power away. So the
Right.
main thing, that's number one. Number two, as I stated, save, 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 save. Always, I also implemented like trying to only live on like 40% of my income. Like your expenses and your rent and all of that stuff needs to be like 30, 40% less or less. And the other 60%, you know, 10 is going aside to taxes. Another one is going aside to 20 is going aside to savings. Another 10 or so is going aside to like a Roth IRA, especially if you're young. If you can open a Roth IRA or something and put a little bit of money into it, that will open up big returns and stuff for you. And then another 10 for myself, for investing back into my career, whether that's new images, whether that's redoing my website, whether that's a business idea that I have or something that I want to start or do, putting some money aside for that. I always, if you can, I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but I've always tried to make sure that I had, at least 6 months to a year's worth of savings saved up.
I
And I'm
love
so
that.
glad I did, because there's definitely been times where I had to it's time to pivot, and that came in handy. And we can talk about that later on. So those are some good practical things. Saving a Roth IRA, don't live beyond your means. Sometimes we be trying to keep up with
Yes.
the Joneses and stuff.
Yes.
I'm not for that. Like I'm the most valuable thing that I will ever have.
Yes.
Period. No matter what I got on, no matter what I'm wearing, no matter what I'm
Yes.
doing, don't we give too much power and place too much value in material objects? Sometimes financial literacy, and this is where we go into the other half of it, which is that feminine energy and that divine and sacred. Sometimes the most valuable thing we often have are people and relationships.
Yes.
That's where sometimes our wealth lies.
Yes.
You know,
Sometimes it's priceless.
yeah, that's priceless. I
Building those
think
bridges.
Kanye made a quote sometimes way back where he said we have the tendency to what did he say? Use people and value things, or we need to value people and use things, or something like that. It was something along those
Yes.
lines. But it was just basically like, yeah, no, use things, use the material stuff to service you, but don't use people. Like, partner with people, collaborate with people, align with people, connect with people, because you never know. Like, speaking of the Grammys,
Yes.
that came from a relationship that I built and cultivated over 10 years
Yes. Talk
with
to
a
him, girl.
producer.
Can we pull
And
up that picture, Solomon?
I didn't strategically, partner or align with her or connect with her because I wanted an opportunity out of her. I connected with her just on a human to human level. And it's those authentic, natural connections where you never know what opportunities and stuff come from it. Yeah, that's the value again of community, of sisterhood, of mentorship. And she was actually a mentor that I sought out when I was starting with things. That's a whole nother story in another industry. But yeah, that came through a relationship. And so sometimes we try so hard to network, and Issa Rae said this. I don't focus on networking up. I focus on, like, sometimes your network is across from you.
Yes.
Is with the people you grew up with, went to school with, the people that are in your community that you see. It can be the janitor or the person that you like. Most people look down to. Again, somebody could have looked down to me in a position when I was working as a stylist, not knowing what my destiny and legacy is called to.
Right.
So like, people is huge. And I haven't always, I'm not gonna, like, I had to learn that over time, because at times I would be so focused on just like, working, grinding, trying to make dreams come true, that I would, miss out on beautiful moments to connect with other people. But I'm so glad, I
That's
did.
the Midwest in you, girl. That's that hustle.
Yeah, right.
That's the Midwest in you. I trust me. People tell me all the time, you got to slow down. And I'm like, sometimes you're like, no, I got to hustle. But then it's like, wait, let me look at things in the grand scheme of things. What just happened in my past week? Look at all the blessings that I've had, that I've endured, like today, yesterday, this past week, this past year, this past month, like between all that hustle, like we've gained so much. So it's okay to like sit back and be like, and just live in the present and like, look who look who I connected with. That janitor, like, introduced me to someone who put me in position today, or who knows, or maybe that was that side hustle we were talking about, like he was a janitor to help him with his dreams. And now he's at the Grammys. Like, you never know.
Exactly. You never know. And no, that's huge. I'm trying to remember, you said something that what did you say? 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 But yeah, that's huge. And to, like, going back into that, like, again, that sacred energy and the wellness and the this and that. We were talking about hustling and stuff. That was the difference too. For me, another turning point when it came to financial literacy is, like, I had to get out of that hustle mentality.
Man, talk to him.
I had to enter into the mode of receptivity. And I had to enter into my divine feminine energy and into the queen and goddess that I am. And a queen don't get up from her throne and go chase nothing.
Right.
But I can allow everything. I align. I allow. I align with that, with the abundance within me, and as a result, the right opportunities and situations magnetically attract and find their way to me. And even when I'm going into jobs as an artist, any type of audition or anything, it's going into it from that place as well, and not from a survival or hustle. Like, that energy is different. When you show up in a room and you in survival, you're trying to, like, you show up differently.
Yes.
But when I show up knowing that what's for me is no one can take that away from me.
That's right. And it comes
it's different. It comes through. And there's so much more that I can say on that, but yeah.
And you definitely dropped some gems. I really hope you guys are tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, because she is dropping gems on you guys for sure. Out of everything that you touched on, especially, like, I want to say in the Black and Brown communities, financial literacy is not something that is taught, right? For someone who's just starting their career, out of everything you just said, what's one thing that a piece of advice you would give them when they're entering the industry as far as financial literacy? Just when they're just starting, a little baby. Well, what could you tell Miss Young Sharaun when she got out of mama's car with that 1,500 in her pocket?
And that I would tell her, girl, everybody trying to figure it out. Nobody has all the answers to have everything figured out. You know, I would tell her to enjoy the journey. And because sometimes we get so like, even when it comes to financial literacy, we want to do everything perfect, right?
Right.
And I know I struggled previously and before in my early years with this profession. I want to make sure that I'm okay doing everything, but like, you know, it's okay to treat yourself sometimes. You know,
Right.
it's okay to, you know, buy yourself that random thing that you want, you know, everything in balance. Don't be so like, we're all trying to figure it out and no one is perfect. And I get it. And it's not always easy. It's easier said than done. A lot of times I get it. Yeah, give yourself grace. You know that you're doing great. Know that a lot of young people starting out or people starting out in their career, it ebbs and it flows. And know that like these are natural parts of life. You know, a lot of times we expect and want this microwave success or expect things to just shoot. And like in the real ones, the journey, the people who build like legacies and we know them forever and like go their legacy and everything lives on beyond them. A lot of times they had a long journey that preceded it.
Right.
You know, so don't feel like you're behind. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't compare yourself to anybody else on socials or anything like that. Just stay laser focused and give yourself grace and have fun. And another thing, which I didn't touch on exactly yet, but like my mom will always say, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's right.
You know, as we started out, you know, you named a number of things that I've done, and that only scratches the surface. Yet, you know, and these are not things that I've added on to my title or resume or anything for ego or for even survival or trying to get extra this and that. But it's important to have multiple streams of income.
Right.
And those streams of income can be things that you love and enjoy.
Yes.
Like explore the multifacetedness of you, you know, explore all of your talents and gifts, and they will literally make way for you, especially as you continue to see it as a business and treat every talent, every part of you as a business. It will thrive.
That's right.
It'll thrive and give back. And that I can go into that too. That's a whole nother little segment.
Right. We'll get to it. Right. Yeah. So looking back, was there a financial decision or mindset that held you back? And how did you overcome it? And what advice would you give someone making the same mistake now?
Was there a financial decision
mindset that held you back?
Yeah, definitely. I would for sure say it's that mindset that we kind of touched on before. Like, anytime we're coming from an inner city and stuff of like, I have to prove myself and I have to go and get it, everything, and I have to go make it happen. And a lot of times we feel like it's just all on us, you know, like I couldn't call dad and ask him for, you know, X amount. I couldn't call this person and get an investment on this business. I couldn't, you know, go over here. I had to, you know, do a lot on my own, yet it wasn't on my own. And I think it's that mentality that we have to do everything on our own or that we are alone that again holds us back from a lot of abundance and stuff, because we fail to see again the wealth and the beauty in the world around us and in connection and the people in our lives and things of that sort. So yeah, that's one thing. Also, you can't take everybody with you. Man. And
it could be heartbreaking. That's not an easy thing. I know people are like, you know, when we say a statement, like it sounds so surface, but like that part alone, especially when those people are so near and dear to you, you know, like when they could be your immediate like circle, your support system or however, but it's just like, you can't take everyone with you.
You can't, and you can't help everybody. I used to be Barbara the Builder, trying to like Like, especially even when I'm such a generous person with
Yes.
my resources and stuff as well. And like, there's so much that's been spent over the years on individuals who were extracting and taking from me, but not pouring back in equal exchange. They were
Right.
not reciprocal, healthy relationships.
Right.
And so even that mindset of like, yeah, even that mindset is backwards. And I'll have to figure out a great way to sum that up. But like, yeah, it's that like set boundaries around your energy. Again, even your energy is a business and it's sacred.
Man,
Um
tell them.
I
Tell
get
them.
paid for my energy.
Gotta
If
protect
only I
it.
knew that one day I would get paid for my energy and the vibes that I carry.
That's right. That's
I would have been a
right.
little bit more selective about who I just gave it out to. Like what there's a word, a scripture that says like don't pour your your oil to your pearls, cast your pearls upon swine. Like it's important to know and have discernment like who's for you and who's not. Because yeah, even financial literacy, trying to keep people in your life and stuff about what you can do for them. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Um shoot. Run you dry.
That's true. That's true. Definitely hold
Yeah.
boundaries against in every aspect of your life. Definitely have to have
Mhm.
boundaries in every aspect of your life. I love that. She said,
Yeah.
if I knew I would be getting paid for my energy today, that is right. That is right. Shout out to you for that. Shout out to you for that.
Girl, yeah, yeah, yeah. We have to recognize the power and the beauty and that we carry. Again, our wealth is literally within when we tap into that.
That's right.
Um,
That's
yeah.
right. So your mentorship, let's get into
Hmm.
it, right? So through your mentorship and wellness work, you help women take control of their lives. I love it.
Hmm.
Definitely a fan.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
how does financial empowerment play into personal growth? And why do you think so? Like so many women, especially from marginalized communities, struggle with financial independence.
100% great and loaded question. And feel
Yes.
free to, if I forget anything, feel free to
It's
steer me
okay,
back
girl.
in the direction. Yeah. So yeah, no, through my mentorship, financial literacy is so important because like let's just be real about it. Like if when you're financially secure, you're able to live a little differently. It helps your life. You're able to soften a bit more. And a lot of times, especially in Black and Brown communities, like we don't always have the healthy relationships or the support and stuff like that too with financial security and stuff where we have to like sometimes like figure that out for ourselves.
Right.
um
I,
and it's important as I talk about like being a supermodel in all areas of your life.
mhm.
Again, there's this wheel and like your financials are so essential in a huge part of that. But it's that foundation on which you stand on. Like if you're the tree, we want that tree to be rooted in some firm foundation and secure. Make sure that your finances and matters are in place, because when you have that in place or you have and you're secure in that area, you can thrive better as an artist. You can thrive better as a woman, as a model, as a whatever field and profession that you're in. Um,
Right.
yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
women we get, especially those who, how you said, multifaceted, independent,
Mhm.
going out there and getting it. Like it's almost like, especially like beautiful women. I feel like we're all beautiful, but just like it's like people almost want us to play small, right? So how
Oh
you
yeah.
said going back to having that support, like why do women really like why do we feel like we struggle when it comes to like financial like literacy? It's like the support, I don't feel like not everyone expects us to be those women to kick in those doors for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So um I
Mhm.
I definitely feel like having the support is super important when it comes to just learning and growth in general, especially for someone who's willing to leave mom's house to go thousands of miles away to pursue her dreams and, take those, pick and choose deals that aligns with you and taking that job at Guess to make sure you push through. So I love
Mhm.
it. I love it. The support for sure. I love that you touched on that because it's like it's even for your loved ones, your direct loved ones, it's hard to get them to at times, you do have your few who are like, you're going to be something. I don't know what it is, but
Mhm.
you're going to be something, but it's almost hard
Mhm.
to shape those others who want you to be that little girl, you
Mhm.
know, and it's,
And it ain't my job to shape them.
that's
Like,
right.
have people see me as a reflection of who they are and their mindset, not of myself.
That's
The most
right.
important thing is the opinion that I have about that we have about ourselves.
That's right.
And just staying laser focused on that again, that goes back to the proven part of it. Like, I don't have to prove who I am to anybody. My energy will speak for itself, my path will speak for itself. And I love that. And the same for each and every person watching. I love and two, going back to the support thing, like yes, and another turning point is that I had to realize that nobody was gonna come and save me.
That's right.
You know,
That's
I'm
right.
my own savior, and that's okay.
Right.
And that's empowering when we realize that, like, I can create my reality.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit on my throne and attract and align with the things that I need. Again, when it comes going back to that mentorship, again, everything that I do, whether it's talking about finances, modeling, whether it's talking about wholeness, whether it's talking about holistic health, anything, it's about that holistic health from the inside out. I truly believe that, like, modeling anything, like everything, our wealth, our abundance, it starts from within and spills out. And it's only when we cultivate that from within that we'll begin to see it in our external world. Inside change produces outside reformation. So, tearing down those programmings and those belief systems and all of that stuff. No, I'm my own savior,
That's right.
and
And
it's
that's
beautiful. And I
okay.
love how yeah, and that's
And
okay.
that's
It's a
okay.
sobering moment. It was a sobering moment, I know for me, but it was empowering, like I said, because it's like I can, and not only about not even about I can do that or I got to go do this for myself, but being. So many times we're focused on what do I need to do to get financial secure, or what do I need to do to make my dreams happen? What do I need to do? Who do I need to be?
That's right.
Who is this woman?
That's
And
right.
then I realized that I'm actually already her. I just need to embody it and come into it and tap into it, and everything else will follow.
That's right. That's
It's sometimes it's more simple and easier than we even think. We're not meant to be out here hustling, striving, grinding by the sweat of our tears, and like how, especially as women,
yeah.
it looks and it flows differently for us when we're really truly aligned and tap into that energy. And then lastly, I love how you touched on, like, a lot of times people want us to play small, or we've been told in reality that, like, again, we're meant to be everybody's helpmate, or that we're meant to just play these, like, certain, like, we have imposter syndrome coming into different situations and things. So even that part of, like, knowing, like, no, you deserve to be paid X, Y, and Z,
Let,
and following the ability to follow your intuition and to listen to that when you're making decisions versus just like your mind. But it's kind of,
I'm so glad you got into it, because I was ready to get right into that. Let's get into the money, okay?
the what?
Let's get into the money, okay?
All right.
Because many women in entertainment and entrepreneurship, they find themselves in situations where they are underpaid, undervalued, or even financially and like dependent, right?
Mhm.
What would be your advice to those women on negotiating your worth? Like building multiple income streams and securing long-term freedom. Like, what would be your
Yeah.
advice to those women?
People only gonna treat you how you allow them to treat you.
That is right.
And a lot of times people value us based on how we value ourselves.
She's
And a lot of times our external experiences and reality are a direct reflection of how we're feeling within.
that is right, girl.
So for me, I had to take some step back to sit back and get real with myself. So why do you think that you need to work for exposure?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are you saying? A lot of times we disregard ourselves, especially when we so concerned with just like survival mode or this, that, and this. But, like, you know, we know the answers within, and it's really tapping into that intuition and listening to that. and allowing that to make our decision making. And I just forgot the question now. So remind me again.
No, you hit every point,
Oh, I
okay?
think I was
You
gonna
just
say,
mic dropped on everybody because
oh
sometimes it's
shoot.
that simple. Like, what would you? But the question was, what would you say to those women who are like negotiating their worth, who are underpaid, who are
Yeah.
undervalued? Like, you said it lovely. You said it
Yeah.
lovely. When you,
Tapping back into, yeah, because a lot of times there's like programs and stuff that are directly attached to that. Also, again, are you treating this like a business? Are you really treating this like a business? Because if you are, then you're not afraid to set boundaries around your art and around your creativity and around what you do. You know, you're not afraid to, that you can walk in the room and also have your list of non-negotiables,
that's
a
right.
list of things that you want. And that's the starting point. The starting point isn't just like, okay, well, what do you have to give me? Or like, well, it's not based on, well, I need this, and this. And a lot of times we don't know what we need.
Right. Right.
I was working, well, I won't share client work, but sometimes I'll work with individuals and they'll be like, well, I want a publicist and this and that. Okay, well, if that person showed up here, or if this job and opportunity showed up here, and they ask you that, like, we don't know the answers to those questions because we haven't tapped into ourselves. What are they promoting? What do you want them to? I don't know. We need to figure that out. What do you need in order to be a thriving artist on set? I'm nothing. We not even thinking about that. We just want the job, and then we get to the job. We ain't got food. We ain't got a green room. We ain't got proper preparation. We ain't told nothing. And it's okay to want that and to ask for that. It's okay to ask questions. It doesn't mean that we got to get beyond the programming too that told us that like you're a diva or you're extra or too much. If you ask for these different things, I'd rather be too much than too little.
That's right.
And it's not what you say, but how you say it. Mm-hmm. It's a part of being a businesswoman is to speak up for yourself. And if you don't even know what it is you need to thrive in whatever situation or in whatever opportunity, then you need to tap into that and get to know yourself a little bit more so that you can know, whether it's in love, relationship, anything. Who are you? What do you need? And how can the world support you? If we can't, so go on.
I love it. Listen, you're touching on practical, you're touching on like what's in you. You're really bringing balance to like the whole subject of this whole entire subject. So I love it because it's important to stay balanced. It's important to learn, but it's also to it's also important to know yourself, and not undervalue yourself, because when you undervalue yourself, the world follows through, right? So it's just like when you know self and you really put that up here, and how you said you walk in those rooms like, I am, the next top model. I am that one, I am that one. Everyone else follows through.
Yeah. And even if they don't at the beginning, they gonna learn one day.
Look, or you know what? They don't align. We don't want the ones who don't. If you don't follow suit, that is fine. Go that way. I'm gonna be this way.
Yeah, it's not aligned, and that's okay. Right. I don't want stuff that's not aligned with me.
That's right.
I don't want to work with people who don't see, whose visions and missions aren't aligned with me, because I'm ushering in something new, and the people around me are as well. And thank you for honoring and saying that balance, because I think it's important, because for so long we've only and mainly operated out of the masculine energy when we approach everything. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to financial literacy, when I work with my mentees and with my community model tribe, like everything, there's an energetic behind it.
Right.
There's energetics of modeling that I teach. There's energetics, again, of financial literacy and stuff. And like, yeah, we gotta bring that in order. I don't want anything that's not aligned with me.
That's right.
And that balance, as we're moving and ushering into a new age, or what some may call a new earth, we have to come balanced and whole. We can't just approach things sure. The saving and the Roth IRAs and all those things are essential. We can put 2020, cool, we can do that. But if we honest, like we touched on earlier, the world is changing. Who knows what's happening? But what's consistent?
Right.
Is this and my energy and our talents and our gifts that we have. again, we have to put some respect on our own gifts
That's
and
right.
on our own talent
That's right.
and demand that other people do too.
That's right. That's right. Talk to him,
Yeah.
girl. Talk to him. You know, drop in gems, drop in gems. With that being said, would there like is there any like resources you would recommend to those like any of those ladies in your model tribe or out in the community as far as books, courses, platforms, or just tapping into the model tribe? What are any resources that you would recommend?
Yeah. Okay, so like on the base level for sure, utilize like we're in a digital day and age right
Right.
now. If you want to utilize them, the apps and stuff that are out there, there's, Intuit has one, there's Rocket Money, there's Digit or something. There's so many different financial apps out there to help
Right.
you keep track of your money and help you keep track of your resources, to help you keep track of your expenses. No matter what type of creative you are, like have an Excel spreadsheet and a log of all the jobs and different things that you're doing, that you're booking. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody. Oh, I was talking to a legendary designer, Jamiko, out of Chicago. And she was saying when she first started out early on her career, somebody when she would answer the phone and they would ask for like the accountant. She'd be like, 1 second, I'm going to get Ashley. And she would come back and she was Ashley. The Ashley was
Right.
her cat.
Right.
Her cat name was Ashley, and then the dog name was he was and on her book that was.
That's
I don't know why I
hilarious.
mentioned that, but I say that to say I don't know why I mentioned that, but that's gonna be for somebody out there. Like,
Right. Right. I actually knew someone who would do their booking. They'd be like, "Oh, like I'm gonna have my manager reach out," and then their manager was their real name. And they'd be like, surprise, I'm smart too, and just like put on a whole different face, because they were a comedian, but like their manager was speaking a whole different language. Like, no, these are the things I need. These are the things I require. And this is how we're going to move forward. So I loved it.
yeah, I think I was saying that for like if you're like when it comes to negotiating things or whatnot, I'm happy to have my support and stuff. But like, yeah, if that's what you have to do, negotiate and stuff, I don't know. But yeah, that tap into the apps, tap into AI as an amazing tool. Don't be afraid of it. Like if we don't move with the times and adjust, of course with wisdom, but like there's so much tools. I think AI can literally help you create a monthly budget. Like there's some AI apps, like financial apps that'll help you. Like you don't even have to do all of the writing and the adding up and the math. It'll do it for you. Tap into it, use it. Again, don't let it use you. Use technology and all of that stuff. Don't let it use you.
That's right.
Again, mentors. Don't be afraid to reach out to anybody. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. When I'm working with my community, I always say, the first thing I do is like, go talk. Go talk to people around you. Like, talk, have conversations, get to know people. Because that's huge. That's huge. Community is everything. So yeah, as far as books, I've read so many books over the time. I'm like, dude, what's the best one to read right now?
I would just love to even encourage people to read. Let me just tell you,
Yeah.
reading has changed my life, personally. Or let me just say audibles, because I'm so
Same girl.
Yes.
Same girl. You have them popped it in,
right. I'm so go. Like I changed listening to music to putting on an audible. And it it helps so much with the mindset and just staying grounded and keep going. You never know what you're gonna find. And then if you don't like that book, find another one. And it's so powerful. So even just taking that step, of just starting to dive into books, audibles, whatever your preference is, I feel like is powerful in itself.
Yes,
For sure.
but definitely 100%. Courses, even I'm getting ready to release here soon. I have a modeling academy. And it's a digital course where I literally walk people through the journey and the steps and the facets and the financial literacy and the shadow sides of the industry and negotiating contracts and how to do all these different things. Again, there's resources out there. Like we shouldn't feel like we don't have support or resources or what we need, because we're literally at the World Wide Web and we have access to so many different people and so many different mentors at our fingertips. So much out there. So tap into it, get into it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what is one key takeaway you would like to give anyone tuning in as far as about financial literacy, self-worth,
Mhm.
success, any powerful key takeaway you would want your viewers to leave with today?
Yeah, there's a few different things. Like I said, inside change produces outside reformation. Don't be so focused on getting the bag that you lose your soul in the
That's
process.
right.
Remaining connected to the core and the truth of who you are is literally going to save you and guide you in so many different ways. Stand true and connected to your intuition. It's going to guide you. Being able to pivot. Some of the best financial decisions that I've made in my life is because of my ability to pivot. And when I talk about that moment where like I'm grateful that I did have that savings, there came a point of time in life where life was beautiful. It was great. I did accomplish everything. I was looking good, got this, got that. But at the same time, it no longer resonated with who I was. I outgrew that phase and stage in my life. And a lot of people, because it's secure and nice and everything's together, they wouldn't be able to pivot. They wouldn't leave. They wouldn't be able to shift. They
Right.
wouldn't be able to rebrand. But I think that's a huge part, again, back to that intuition and knowing who you are, is being able to feel and know when a season is up or when a time is up or when this has served its purpose. And, to be able to take that risk. We take risk in so many other areas, but sometimes like, are you willing to do that on yourself? If your soul is no longer happy, even if it looks materially like everything's together, if my soul on the line. So I had to pivot. And thank God I had, some savings and stuff to support me through those times. So yeah, the art of the pivot, be able to pivot and shift when you need to. Yeah, don't neglect your soul in this process and reach out to me.
That's right.
Hit me up. Themodeltribe.com. Sharaun B.
I was about to say, let the
And
people
drink
know
water.
where they can find you, like where they can tap into your model tribe, where they can seek mentorship. I love that is a core part of your brand. It's beautiful and it definitely speaks for itself.
Thank
Drop all the
you.
gems, girl, where they can find all the information to tap in with you.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk to you and chat. So you can follow me on social media at Sharaun B. That's Sharaun and then B as in boy. Also, my community, the Model Tribe plug-in. It's in person here in Chicago, located outside of the iconic Rada Tower Place inside of Fashion Bar Studios. But we also have a virtual community as well. So plug in. I do one-on-one coaching, mentoring from like career and modeling stuff, and then also life coaching and sacred alignment and wellness coaching and stuff in that realm as well. Do not neglect the self. Do not neglect your soul. I'm here to help, and you can learn more at themodeltribe.com. Again, that's themodeltribe.com. Our socials, which are in the process of being updated right now, is Model Tribe Official. You can find us there. And then check out my personal website too at Sharaun.com.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you so much for everything today. Like you definitely dropped gems. Thank you everyone for tapping in. It's been an awesome conversation. I love the balance that was brought here. I love the mentorship that was brought here. And I hope we could really shed light to our communities for sure, especially those women out there who are not going to play small. Like it's not a time to play small. Play however you want to play.
It's
You know,
not.
so
Go big or go home. And with
go
Model
big
Drive,
or
that's
go
really what we
home.
doing is like, again, tapping into the model version of yourself is not playing small. It's like tapping into the fullness of who you are and taking up space. It's divine feminine rising, divine feminine leadership. It's a new day and age. And it's time for us, especially as women, to rise up in a different way than we've ever seen before, prioritizing and putting ourselves first. So thank you so much for this platform that you created, for bringing me on, and for choosing to talk about such a dynamic and important topic as financial literacy within the industry. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tapping in. I can't wait to see what's next. I'll definitely be, sending my blessings from the outside and inside, for sure. So thank you again for joining me today on this platform. You were awesome. And I cannot wait to see like all the much success that you got coming, because I know this is just a smidget. Okay, it's 2025.
We still in March, and we had so much happen. Newly engaged.
Yes,
Yeah,
congratulations.
so much fun stuff, new space, and yeah, it's awesome. It's our time.
Congratulations. Yes, for
Thank
sure.
you.
I appreciate you so much, Sharaun. We'll definitely keep in touch. And for those viewers
Okay.
out there, this is a C.Pop Insider. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.